Nitrogen is an element that is colorless and odorless. Nitrogen may be found in the earth beneath our feet, the water we drink, and the air we breathe. In reality, nitrogen is the most common element in the Earth's atmosphere, accounting for 78% of the total. All living things, including humans, require nitrogen. It is very crucial for plant development. Plants cannot survive in low nitrogen environments, resulting in low agricultural yields. However, too much nitrogen can be harmful to plants. Farmers use nitrogenous fertilizers to boost crop growth. According to scientists, without nitrogen fertilizers, up to 1/3 of food and other crops might be lost. However, we need to know how much nitrogen is required for plant development, since excessive nitrogen fertilizers may pollute water bodies and deplete aquatic life. Nitrogen is an essential component of the nucleic acids, DNA and RNA, which are the most significant biological molecules and are required by all living beings. Plants cannot create amino acids if they do not receive adequate nitrogen. These amino acids are used to create unique proteins. The nitrogen cycle is a cyclical process by which nitrogen passes through living and non-living things, including the atmosphere, soil, water, plants, animals, and microorganisms. Nitrogen must change its forms at different stages of the cycle. Nitrogen exists as a gas in the atmosphere, but in soil it occurs as nitrogen oxide and nitrogen dioxide, and when used as fertilizer, in other forms such as ammonia or ammonium nitrate. There are 5 stages in the nitrogen cycle: fixation, mineralization, nitrification, immobilization, and denitrification. During the nitrogen fixation phase, nitrogen moves from the atmosphere into the soil. Nitrogen gas is present in large quantities in Earth's atmosphere. But this nitrogen is not directly available to plants. Because plants cannot use it directly without undergoing conversion from gaseous form. To be used by plants, must be converted through a process called nitrogen fixation. Fixation converts atmospheric nitrogen into forms that plants can absorb through their root systems. Nitrogen gas in the atmosphere is transformed into ammonia and other nitrogenous molecules such as nitrates and nitrites throughout this process. Most nitrogen fixation occurs naturally, in the soil, by bacteria. Some bacteria attach to plant roots, and this is beneficial to both the plant and the bacteria. Bacteria obtain energy from the plant's photosynthesis, and in return, they convert nitrogen into a form needed by the plant. The fixed nitrogen is then transported to other parts of the plant and used to build plant tissue so the plant can grow. The plant and the bacterium profited from one another, and these bacteria are known as symbiotic bacterium. Nitrogen-fixing bacteria like rhizobium typically dwell in the root nodules of legumes like peanuts. As a result of this relationship, legumes usually improve the nitrogen content of nitrogen-deficient soils. Some bacteria live freely in soil or water and can fix nitrogen without this reciprocal relationship. Azotobacter is an example of free-living bacteria. This bacteria can also produce forms of nitrogen that can be used by other organisms. Nitrogen can be added through synthetic fertilizers such as ammonium nitrate. It is a form of nitrogen that is added to the soil and used by plants. Nitrogen is transferred from organic elements such as manure or plant materials to an inorganic form of nitrogen that plants may utilize at this step. The plant's nutrients are eventually depleted, and it dies and decomposes. When bacteria attack on organic material, such as animal dung or decomposing plant or animal material, they begin to convert it to ammonium, a form of nitrogen that plants can utilize. Ammonia, is the initial type of nitrogen compound created during the mineralization process. Ammonia in the soil then combines with water to generate ammonium. This ammonium is stored in soils and is ready for use by plants. Nitrification, the third step, occurs in soils as well. During nitrification, ammonia in soils created during mineralization is transformed into nitrites, NO2, and nitrates, NO3. Nitrates can be used by plants and animals that eat plants. Certain bacteria in the soil can convert ammonia to nitrites. Although nitrite is not directly usable by plants and animals, other bacteria may convert nitrites to nitrates. This reaction supplies energy to the microorganisms involved in the process. The bacteria that we are talking about are called nitrosomonas and nitrobacter. Nitrobacter converts nitrites to nitrates, whereas nitrosomonas converts ammonia to nitrites. Both species of bacteria can only function in the presence of oxygen. Nitrification is crucial to plants because it provides a surplus of accessible nitrogen that may be taken by the plants via their root systems. Immobilization is the inverse process of mineralization. The fourth step of the nitrogen cycle. These two systems work together to regulate the quantity of nitrogen in the soil. Soil microorganisms, like plants, require nitrogen for energy synthesis. When decaying plant and animal carcasses do not contain enough nitrogen, these soil bacteria take nitrogen from the soil. Ammonium and nitrate are no longer available to plants as a result of these bacteria's conversion, resulting in nitrogen deficit. Immobilization is critical because it aids in the management and balance of nitrogen levels in the soil. Denitrification, the fifth stage of the nitrogen cycle. Here nitrates are converted to atmospheric nitrogen by bacteria. Nitrogen gas escapes from the soil into the atmosphere, creating a cycle. This cycle is called nitrogen cycle. Denitrification is carried out by several Pseudomonas, Alkaligenes, and Bacillus species. The cycling of nitrogen through the environment is critical for keeping ecosystems productive and healthy. Understanding the nitrogen cycle can also help us prevent pollution caused by over-fertilization of soils. Plants are hungry when there isn't enough nitrogen in the soil, and too much nitrogen can harm them. Pollution of our water supplies by excess nitrogen and other nutrients is a major issue, since marine life is suffocating as a result of the breakdown of dead algal blooms. Farmers and communities must work together to optimize crop absorption of additional nutrients and to appropriately dispose of animal manure waste.